one elephant is dying every 15 minutes and one rhino every 9 hours, it's real, it's reality, it's what's happening. And we can all go and bury our head in the sands and pretend it's not happening and pretend it's not reality or it's someone else's issue. But if we do that, what kind of world are we going to have? What kind of existence are we going to have? These elephants are dying one every 15 minutes.
At least you stand up for it. It's gruesome, it's horrible, and it needs to stop. But it won't stop if you just say, I can't look at it. It stops because people like you stand up and say, let's do something about it.
Brian Christie is an American journalist who's been mostly concentrating for the last 15 years on illegal animal trade and terrorism involved in animals. And basically he came up with the idea to put a transmitter inside a fake elephant horn, and amazingly enough it was picked up and it went straight to where they knew Joseph Kony is hiding out, and then it went straight up into Sudan. The issue with Joseph Kony became a worldwide phenomenon about 2012, and thousands upon thousands of people signed petitions, supported Facebook pages, etc., put posters up, because at that time lots of children had gone missing, been raped, been killed, and the world was up in arms about it. But here we are in 2015 and it's disappeared.
And he's still doing it.
The whole issue is still there though, and it's even worse. And not only does he kidnap his own people from his own country and force them to kill elephants and park rangers, they do go in and shoot those people's wives, rape them, kill the children, force the children into a lifetime of killing as well. Some of these people are forced to walk over 600 kilometres to Sudan with elephant ivory on their backs for terrorism. And unfortunately, straight from the horse's mouth, we have defectors from Joseph Kony's group who have said, unfortunately, the Sudanese Prime Minister is directly involved in this. And this is the problem. This is why the UN needs to really step up to the plate. It is a political matter, unfortunately, and no matter how we don't want to see it as that, it is.
And surely we don't want to see, the only time we see elephants are in, you know, modified and shrunken versions of the Sahara in a zoo. I mean, it really, you know, this is genocide that's occurring. And why the United Nations isn't in there, it's not only the elephants, it's also the people. Why the United Nations isn't in there trying to stop this, it's actually a political issue. It's unfortunate that it's the lives of the elephants and the rhinos. The Malayan rhino was extinct as of last week. That animal no longer roams this earth, and for no good reason. It was totally destroyed for ivory.
And it's twofold, because the Asian market is creating such demand for the ivory. Without that demand, things would be very different.
I think going back to the tourism, we're just saying the people that come to us and say that they've been over to Thailand, they love Thailand, and they went and did an elephant ride, and you say to them, you know, you probably shouldn't have done that. And they go, oh, really? But I thought I was, you know, doing the right thing. And once you tell them, most people are horrified. And then they actually go away and they feel quite ill that they've supported this industry. So it really is about educating them. Do you know that this is what an elephant goes through just so that you can ride on it? If more people knew about that and knew the alternative, they would make that change. They would make that decision. Would you rather ride an elephant or feed and water an elephant?
Now, there are good mahouts and bad mahouts. They look after the elephants and they have sticks with hooks on. So
you see some of the elephants and they've got an indent in their forehead, and that's where they've been beaten so much that they've got it is just the cruelty. It's just shocking. And for what? People actually think they're doing something good for elephants by riding elephants, because they think that in some way, then they're being looked after and they're given a home and they're getting the medical attention they require. They don't realise that they're just perpetuating a cruel industry. So it's a matter of telling people, don't ride the elephant, but ask if you can feed it instead. And the industry will change if we start saying, I don't want to ride an elephant. If you ever see an elephant with a broken back and a chair on its back with 10 people, it is absolutely heartbreaking. And you can't do it. And there are lots of people who are turning away from that now and saying, I can't put an animal through that kind of pain. I would rather stand there and feed an animal. I mean, if you've ever fed, as we've had, been very lucky to do, stand there and feed pineapples and bananas and what was the thing they love? Pawpaw. Went nuts over pawpaw. They just come straight after you and eat it out of your hand and then touch you with their trunks. That is far more satisfying than sitting on that poor beast's back and being ridden around like some, I don't even know what.
Circus attraction.
Yeah, absolutely, circus attraction. I don't want my nieces and kids and myself to have to look at a book or an old photograph to see what an elephant used to look like because they're no longer roaming the world with me. It's not our right to murder these creatures. We share the world with them. There is a space for them. We need to protect them. We need to do something.
And as corny as it actually sounds, E is for elephant. That's what we want to teach our children.
That's why this is a global march. It's a global response to a global problem. We need to stop this, and the world is speaking. This is not just about us. This is for the future generations to come. There has to be something for them. We are custodians, so let's stand up to the plate and be custodians. Come to the march. Learn about what's happening. We're happy to educate you. You'll have a lot of fun. You think you might have a single voice. Add it to the chorus of others, and the more our ranks swell, the more likely it is that we can drive change.